Hello, year one. I hope everyone is well. And today we're going to be looking at some science. So now I have some really exciting news for you all. Dr. Zargle contacted me earlier on this week, and this is what his message said. Hello, Earthlets. Dr. Zargle here. Me and my crew are on our way to Earth. We would like to expand our knowledge about humans. We would like to know what is the most important sense. How exciting is that? So Dr. Zargle is going to give us a visit this week sometime. If you look outside during the day, you might be able to see him and his crew disguised as some children. Then this picture here, they're putting on their disguises. So we can't notice who's an alien and who's not. So in our previous science lessons, we've been looking at our 5 senses. So today, our learning objective is explore the different senses through a range of activities. So we need to answer Dr. Zargle's question. So we're going to be looking at an investigation in today's lesson. Before we begin looking at our investigation, let's remind ourselves of our 5 senses. So in your learning packs, you should all have a sheet that looks like so. Have a go at drawing lines to match which sense is associated with the body part. So I'll help you with the first one. So the eye here, you would draw the eye to the sense sight because we use our eyes to see. So that is what sense is associated with our eyes. Pause this video and have a go at completing the rest of the matches. Before we start our investigation, have a discussion with your grown-up. What do you think is the most important sense? Okay, so now keep those thoughts in your head because you'll need those for our investigation process and at the end of the investigation. When we are completing a scientific investigation, there is a process that we need to follow. So here is a diagram of that scientific process. So you need to begin with a question, then follow that question with a prediction. Then after the prediction is when you do the investigation part. So in our investigation, we'll be doing about 3 different tests. Then after you've done those tests, you need to look at what kind of what happened in those tests, what did you see in your investigation, and then come up with an evaluation which rounds up all the information you came up with from your investigation. So our investigation question is, what is the most important sense? And then we then predicted what we think the answer is to that question. So before, remember, I asked you to discuss with your adult, what do you think your the important sense is? So that would be your prediction. Everyone's going to have a different prediction. Some people might think that the most important sense is sight. Some people might think the most important sense is smell or taste, etc. So now we've spoke about what our question is and what our prediction is. We are now going to look at the tests we're going to do. So here are the 3 tests that we're going to do in this investigation. The first test we are going to do is a taste test. Then we're going to have a go at building some towers, and then we're going to play hide and seek. But there is a bit of a twist in all these tests. In our investigation, we are removing the sense of sight. So we're going to have a go at doing all of these activities blindfolded. I know that sounds quite scary, but it's a lot more easier than you think. It's going to be quite exciting, year one. So you might not have a blindfold at home. That's completely fine. You can just use some items in your house if you've got some. So I've got a pair of tights here that you can use as a blindfold. So you can just use these tights to cover your eyes, and then that will remove your sense of sight. Or if you don't have some tights, you can use something like a scarf. So I have a scarf as well here as an example to show you. You can use that to cover your eyes, and then again your sense of sight will be removed. So in the first test, you're going to have a go at tasting 3 different food items. So before you do that test, you'll have to ask your grown-up to help you as well. Have a look in your cupboards and maybe in the fridge, and just well, your adult will have to pick those for you because you need to guess what that food is. So your adult will need to pick 3 different kind of food options for you for this activity, and you'll be blindfolded, and you will have to try and guess what those items of food are by tasting them. So then the second test is you're going to have a go at building a tower, but again, you'll be blindfolded again. You won't have your sense of sight to help you. So you can use building blocks, or you can use Lego pieces, or if you don't have any of those, maybe some like Jenga blocks or something, but any kind of items that you can use to kind of pile on top of each other to create a tower. But I suggest you don't use anything that can break easily, because we don't want you to end up breaking any really important materials in your house. Then the last test you're going to have a go at doing is the hide and seek test. Now, this is quite a really exciting test. So you'll be playing hide and seek, but you, the pupil, will be blindfolded. And what your adult will need to do is they will need to repeat a phrase. So for example, I've put, come and find me, and they need to keep repeating that phrase until you find them. So your adult will need to hide somewhere in the same room as you, just to make it a little bit easier, because you can't be walking around the house blindfolded or going up and down stairs. That's really dangerous because you can't see where you're going. And it's really important that you can see where you're going when you're going up and down stairs. So preferably if you just pick one room, like your living room or something, for example, and that will be your hiding space, just that living room there. So there are 3 different kind of tests we're going to have a look at in this investigation. So while you're doing those tests, there is a sheet that I would like you to complete at the same time. So each time you've done a test, come and have a look at the sheet. It should be in your learning pack. I want you to tick what sense you used to help you in this activity. So test 1 here is referring to the taste test. And I want you to tick which sense did you use in this activity to help you. Was it your sense of touch? Was it your sense of taste? Was it your sense of smell? Or was it your sense of hearing? And you just need to tick in the boxes here which sense helped you. And then just to further develop that explanation, in this box here, you can ask your grown-up to help you. Maybe they can scribe for you. How did that sense help you in this activity? So how did your sense of taste help you to do test 1? Or how did that help you to figure out what food you were trying? And then you just need to do the same for the test 2 and the test 3. So pause this video, year 1, and have a go at doing those different tests we have for our investigation today. So now you've completed all your tests for our investigation and you've completed out this sheet. We need to go back to our investigation process. So we've completed the question part, tick. We've completed the prediction, tick. And we've completed our test, tick. So now we're going to look at our evaluation part. So with your adult, discuss what did you find from doing those tests? Is your prediction correct? Is that what you came up with in the end? Whatever you said was the most important sense. Using what you wrote on this table, come to like a conclusion of sorts. Was touch the most important sense in these 3 tests, or was it something else? Sometimes investigations, you might find you come to a different conclusion from what you originally predicted, which is fine. There's no right and wrong answers in science. It's very quite, up to investigation. So you might find what you predicted is not what you actually found out from the investigation, and just discuss with your adult about that. Were you surprised that, for example, if you said touch was the most important sense, were you surprised that maybe you found out it wasn't important? Or you might have found out that it was the most important and most useful sense in our investigation task. So once you've looked at your evaluation side, let's go back to the original question that Dr. Zargle had asked us. What is the most important sense? So after doing our investigation and then having your discussion with your adult about your evaluation, what is your final answer for that question? So pause the video and have a discussion with your adult. What is your final answer to that question? What is the most important sense? Fabulous, year 1. So that's all for science today. Thank you very much for listening.